Hello everyone, it's Curtis Watson bringing you another behind-the-scenes look at American Railroad Adventures. Today we're looking at the second chapter of the three-part episode, Fallen Flag. First, I need to address this shot here. Yeah, I love that shot. Now a quick word about characters. We're introduced to John and Arnold, brothers who formerly worked for the Royal Mountains Railroad. Their old livery is starting to fade, and their Royal Central numbers and lettering has been patched onto them. John and Arnold are based off of two real-life Pennsylvania Railroad SD7s that were assigned to the Madison Incline in Indiana. I could tell you more, but that would spoil a future story. We also meet Gregory and Brenda, two GP9 diesels of the Northern Central and Royal Mountains Railroads, respectively. We'll see more of them in the next episode, too. There's a lot of little things I threw into this episode that I'd like to point out quickly. The unique boxcars, the nameless and identical SD40 type locomotives, the U.S. Capitol building, this weather report which is based off of real satellite imagery of Hurricane Agnes, Brenda's number 7567 being a reference to Captain Rex from Star Wars, and this deleted scene showing Sam and Robert when the latter goes to work for the new passenger company. This is quite a lot, and I do want to keep this as short as possible, but I wanted to touch on the actual history of this story. In the 1940s and 50s, both the Pennsylvania Railroad and the New York Central began losing money. Trucks and planes were much cheaper for people and freight to travel on, and the Interstate Commerce Commission wouldn't let the railroads change their prices to be competitive. The Pennsy and the Central proposed merging with each other, hoping to combine their resources, and eventually did so in 1968. But this was not going to save them. Quite the opposite, in fact. Basically, both railroads ran from New York to Chicago and a whole bunch of intermediate points. Two main lines to the same destinations. Lots of money to keep that maintained. Second, the employees never really did get used to working with each other, so there was no cooperation between them. Third, the difficulties that resulted from this lingering rivalry did lead to missing trains, significant delays, and deferred maintenance for track and rolling stock. We'll see that next time. In short, nothing was ever going to save these two railroads, but that didn't stop the government from trying. In 1971, the U.S. government created the National Railroad Passenger Corporation, or Amtrak. Passenger trains never made much money for any railroad, and it was hoped that putting the nation's passenger trains in the hands of one government-owned company would help the freight railroads recover. It kind of did, but also kind of didn't. There's a lot to unpack here, more than I can fit in this video, so I would encourage you to do some of your own research on the subject. But I'll leave you with this. Things weren't getting better, and it would take a massive change in the railroad industry to actually start fixing things. But we'll get to that in the next episode of American Railroad Adventures. Until then, thanks for watching, everyone.